Nacho Libre, you've never seen it?
No.
Oh man.
Jack Black, right?
Yeah.
And Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I don't.
No.
He's
Sorry,
in-
Jack
no,
Black
no.
and I was thinking of what is it? The other one?
Kung Fu Panda.
No, the one where Adam Sandler's a complete fucking jackass. He's the
that's
something.
a
He's like
movie.
he has a crazy accent. He's like kind of
Oh.
yeah, the Zohan. There it is.
Jack Black's good in the holiday too. I'll go on record. You got that recorded? It's good in the holiday. It's a good Christmas movie.
Welcome back, episode 10,
Yeah. Thanks
number
for,
10,
Thanks for coming.
double
back.
double digits.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Sweet. Yeah, we got Al Perez's show got over 400 views. Pretty solid. We got to put some stuff out there for Chad. Yeah, no, it's been awesome. It's been really cool. Like, I mean, I don't know about you, but we haven't really talked about this, but I've been out and people have been saying, like, oh, I watch your show. We just had someone in the other day, really cool company, 85th and Pine, right?
Yeah.
85th and Pine.
Yeah.
They
Shout
came
out.
through and they're like, hadn't met them before, and they came through and they're like, oh, yeah, we listen to your stuff. Feel like we know you guys. So appreciate everyone through these first 10 episodes. Right?
Yeah.
Grateful.
I mean, we love the support. Yeah, I've had friends say that they listen to me in their commute, and it's like, wow, I wouldn't do that, but hey, I appreciate it.
It's pretty cool, man.
It is super cool. It's just seeing people at coffee shops. I saw actually one of my friends' parents, and they said that they put it on their TV and watched it during dinner. It was like,
it's awesome.
Dude, that is wild.
Heck
But,
yeah, man.
I really humbly love the support.
Yeah. Hope, and I mean, again, just trying to put stuff out there for the area, and then also hopefully give some valuable stuff, some similar to the stories of Al and listening to Chad talk about interest rates and find different
Mayor
things.
Uran.
Back to Mayor Uran, which we'll touch on a little
More
bit
on
today
that
too.
later.
But yeah, we're back to the OG show. Me and
Yeah. I mean, just bringing positivity to the region, and Lord knows that we need it. So
you. Yeah. Amen. Well, let's start off. We got 4 stories today, right? First one is going to be we got a company coming into Hammond and looking to invest and bring a lot of jobs into the area. Pretty sweet.
Pretty solid paying jobs as well.
We got a little bit about the city of Gary and some cleanup going in Gary, as well as some stuff with their school systems. City of Crown Point with the rental home development, which to be honest with you, I'm sick and tired of seeing the negativity on, and I want to put my speech on that yet again, going my soapbox. And then Mayor Uran taking a job with a tourism agency as a CEO and president, and will be leaving as the mayor of the city of Crown Point, which is very happy for Mayor Uran, but also very concerned / sad. Right?
Yeah.
So we could talk a little bit more about that.
Yep,
But
lots of feelings.
We'll start with Hammond. So Illinois company coming to Hammond, Indiana, looking to invest $30 million into a 120,000 square foot facility. It's currently operating out of Calumet City. Meats by Lynn's plans on building a new facility at the former Queen Anne Candy site, 628 Hoffman Street. Project would be about $30 million investment in the city and would employ about 320 people.
Wow.
Company says that their average wage is about $27 per hour. It's $54,000 a year. Let's see. So they're moving from Calumet City here locally to Hammond and bringing jobs into the area. Looks like a meat processing business. I mean, it's pretty awesome, and it seems to be like a consistency with some companies doing that.
Coming across
so
the
yeah,
line.
man. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's a win for the company. I mean, lower taxes. That's good. I think that not to get too political, but the state of Indiana is a little bit more friendly, historically speaking, to businesses than Illinois, and I think it's great for the area. Like $27 an hour, $54,000.
Over 300 jobs. It's huge.
300 jobs is
awesome.
huge. I love to see that $30 million investment into Hammond. North Lake County needs some love. We're going to talk about it quite a bit today, but I'd love to see kind of a turnaround and just a change on perspective of that area in general. I think there's a ton of opportunity there, and all around good things. I think it's win-win for the residents and the company. Yeah,
and I mean, it's awesome. It's crazy too when you think about it. Like, this for them is literally like down the street. Because Cal City to where this property is just over. Yeah. But when you think about it, I'm sure it's saving them a lot of money. I'm sure it's probably a better facility. I'd be interested to see who they supply meats for. You know what I mean? That's like, because again, you go to meat processing and like, how's that looking?
Things,
I wonder. I'm interested to hear about that. Like, do they supply meats for the city, restaurants? Like, I don't know. It'd be interesting. But yeah, I mean, it's awesome. The fact that, again, more jobs coming to Northwest Indiana, right?
Yeah. What follows jobs? People.
people, housing, right? And if the average person's making $54,000 a year, it's pretty solid.
Pretty good.
So yeah, I mean, I think it's awesome. It seems like they're going to put $30 million investment is a significant investment. So again, just more so, just wanted to highlight the story. I think it's a cool story. Yeah. I mean, I think it's good for people maybe looking for a career out there. It might be a solid place to look. But yeah, I mean, outside of this article, I don't know much more about the business, but it seems like a cool move for Northwest Indiana and for Hammond. So, I think that also plays a testament to what McDermott's done over there with being business friendly. I think that's something that they focus on. He does a great job of his podcast and his shows and putting stuff out there too. And as a good businessman, I think he's probably attracting some of those businesses to do that just over the border. So yeah, I got nothing other than 320 people, with an average of $27 an hour.
Yeah, I'd be curious to hear the negative view on that. Like,
well, if you're vegan, you might not be a big fan. Yeah. Respect. I got nothing against it.
Teach their own.
Let's go next. Gary kicks off citywide cleanup for demolition. You were looking a little further into this. You want to touch on this a little bit?
So the mayor actually knocked down the first building. He got in the excavator, so that was pretty cool to see. Like, I mean, there's a video on, it's a NWI Times article, so jump on there, check it out. I don't know if Local 150 is gonna have a problem with him jumping in and operating, but it looks like he did a pretty good job. I think he's got a career for him if he wants it. But no, I think that Gary definitely needs a refresh, rebranding, whatever you want to call it. And they're talking about knocking down 100 buildings throughout the summer that are vacant, abandoned. With vacant buildings, abandoned buildings, you have people moving in there. You got things happening in those buildings that, are not good things a lot of times. We'll just leave it at that. A lot of abandoned buildings bring bad stuff. And I think knocking that down eliminates that. I think it opens up real estate for people who want to invest into those areas. There's also 20 crews of volunteers that had committed to doing a cleanup, just like trash and not knocking down buildings or anything or doing any demo projects, but just cleaning up the area. And I think that goes a long way to just boost curb appeal for the whole area and make it safer.
Yeah. No, it's awesome. I think it's cool. I mean, there's kind of like, I wonder what some of these buildings, what stinks too is like Gary has such beautiful architecture. Yeah. And so like to see some of them taken down, I'm sure they're buildings that are just in tough shape more than likely, considering
probably like structurally not safe, not salvageable. I'm sure they're not knocking down like buildings that could be repurposed.
I had heard at some point, I don't know where I heard this and I don't know how legit this is, but there at some point at one stage or another there was like upwards of 3 out of 4 properties in Gary at some point were uninhabited, which is pretty crazy, right? So, I mean, it's at the end of the day, I don't know how there's a loss in taking down buildings that are in bad shape where bad things are happening. I don't necessarily see a negative there, because when you drive through Gary, it's one of the biggest parts that's very depressing. You see these buildings that like at some point were something and now they're nothing. And so I think it's a good start. I think that's pretty cool. I like the idea. I like that the volunteers are kicking in. Super cool. I think it's another step in the right direction, on top of, we were trying to find the article, but we couldn't find it, where apparently this is the first year in a long time where Gary's school district was profitable. Which is, I mean, that's amazing to hear.
Absolutely.
Right? A profitable school district, getting rid of some old buildings. I mean, from the housing side of things, I'm seeing houses flipped that are in Gary, not like Calumet Township Gary, but like they're in city proper, Gary. And they're selling $150,000, $200,000 that are remodeled.
They're nice.
Very interesting. Very interesting time, because when I started in this business 8 years ago, you wouldn't see anything close to that. Not even close.
No.
And so all of these things combined, I mean, positive steps. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to happen overnight. I mean, Gary is definitely in a place where it needs help. It needs, like I said in the beginning of this segment, it needs like a rebranding. And these are good, positive steps in the right direction that kind of snowball. I mean, if you're a business owner in Illinois, you're thinking about moving your business over to Indiana, you look at this building that is probably not structurally sound, you're like, I'm not going to buy that. But you may buy a lot that has been cleared out and, leveled and everything that you would buy and build on. Build a new building and bring money to that area and jobs, and, it's a snowball.
Yeah, I mean, the thing, too, if they can continue to – I don't know all the details of the Gary School District, but if it's profitable, it sounds like that's a good sign, obviously. And That's the big driver for most areas when it comes to housing and values and things like that. So if they continue to make that a focus to make it better, but I know, like you said, it's got a long way to go, but strides, right?
Yeah,
so I like it. I think take down these buildings, get rid of these buildings that are in rough shape, and make it look better slowly but surely.
Yeah.
Investors are flipping properties there. Good. Right.
Yeah. So I'm a sucker for old timey stuff. I know you are too. So that side of me, it hurts to see. But if these buildings are not the highest and best use of that land, and if these buildings are not safe to occupy, I think it's the best thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's go to the hot topic currently, the rental development, single-family home rental development in Crown Point. And just some updates with that. We've covered that in the past, but updates with that. Looks like they're decreasing it from 185 units to 165 units, right? It looks like the city came back to them with some more like requirements for maintenance conditions, right, to keep it in a certain condition. And then the other one had in terms to do with rent, right?
Yeah, rent, kind of like a limit on how low they would go with rent.
Okay.
So I'd like to start this off because I imagine this is going to be a short clip that we post on social media. I'd like to start off talking about this to welcome anybody. Everybody has their like one sentence negativity that they want to post on this topic. If you feel like this is a bad development for the city of Crown Point, do us a favor and post your full thought so that way we can have a conversation with people.
Yes.
If you don't like this, I think that freedom of speech is really important. Voice your opinion, but bring some facts with it.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that sentiment?
100%. I think that because we're seeing a lot right now of just like, this will be Section 8, terrible for the community, there it goes, all of these ridiculous comments.
Yeah.
And listen, I own my home, okay?
Yep.
I sell homes for a freaking living.
Yep.
I'm here promoting the fact that it is very valuable for a good area, a great city, with great people and a great community and great schools and great things to do and great local business owners and all of this stuff that we have and great people. You have to have great places for people to rent.
That's right.
Like this is no longer 10,000 people, Crown Point, Indiana from 1940.
It's a different game.
Is, or whatever that was. That's not a direct amount of population at that time. Just saying, for example, this is a growing area where people need, and now, by the way, these are single-family homes that if they were sold would be probably $500,000, I would guess. Let's just say $400,000.
Yep.
Okay. These are going to be for people. For a personal example, I just had a property one of my own properties that is $1,450 a month in rent. I just got an application. The tenant application makes $125,000 a year as a nurse practitioner.
Yeah.
That person would be interested probably in a much nicer rental like this. Do you think someone making $125,000 a year with good credit, good standing, good lease records and previous, do you think they're going to take care of their property? My answer, personally, yes, more than likely.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, if you look at great areas, they have great high quality places to rent. If you're going to say, oh, Section 8, oh, this, that, and the other, there goes the city, giving it away, all this stuff that I'm seeing, like you said, this bothers me a little bit more because, and I get a little bit more upset about it because, again, like you said, bring something back behind that and let's have a conversation about it.
We're very reasonable people, like I like to think. We'll talk to you.
Yeah, I want to hear the reasoning for it. Is it just because you don't rent, so you think renting is bad? This isn't about you, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is about our community. This provides, you know how many people move here? Like, we just had a client recently, bought a house, 2 months later, relocated. Do you think that person, you know how much of a pain and difficult that is to buy a house and then have to sell it too much later? Mm-hmm. Do you think they might have been financially bad for them? How much would they have liked to put their family in a nice place to rent? How many people how many people moving from Illinois are looking to say, okay, or just different areas, not just Illinois, all over the country who are relocating here for jobs or whatever, wouldn't like to say, is this a place that I want to live? Well, instead of buying something, I'd like to rent a nice property and see where we would like to live. Those are people that then eventually buy into the community. So my viewpoint is this. If you look at the best places to live with the best schools, the lowest crimes, the best access to things to do, places to go, places to eat, good restaurants, good community events, all of that. They have great places that can be rented out. And you have to consider that this is a great option for people who are looking to become a part of our community in Crown Point. And this is a great place for them to do it, whether they're in transit or in the move. And at the end of the day, by simply saying, oh, it's going to go to Section 8. I mean, if you want, don't be like, honestly, it's ridiculous to even be like, oh, these $3,000 a month, $500,000 houses are going to be $800 a month in rent. You are out of your mind.
Yeah.
And we see the rental market demand. It's that property I mentioned at almost $1,500 a month is a 2-bed, 2-bath. It's 800 square feet.
Yeah.
And think about a full house with a 2-car garage, 4 beds, 2.5 baths, all this. Like, these are people with, that they're not going to go into bad condition. And by the way, we don't have enough places to rent. So in my opinion, this is a great addition to the area. And just by saying, oh, they're renting, well, maybe that's not what you want to do, but maybe that is best for them and their family and their situation. And it doesn't mean that it's going to turn the community into this terrible area. That you've got to take that out of your mind, that renting is bad. There's amazing families and people a part of the community who just like to rent.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say to that.
Yeah, I was going to point out the domino effect that is going to happen when these are built. The people that are, whether you want to call it like overqualified or whatever to be a tenant for like the duplex you were talking about, those people then rent in this new community, and that opens up housing options for people who weren't as qualified as the nurse practitioner to be able to rent the duplex. Yep. And it gives them a chance to get their own house. So it just really
because we don't have enough places.
We don't. There's not enough to rent. Yes. So you got let's just say like stereotypical like single mother competing with the nurse practitioner, who on paper looks better.
Yeah.
They're going to go with the nurse practitioner, and then what's the single mom going to do? Move in with a friend? It just puts her in a terrible place.
There's a lot of that right now. It's a good point.
Yeah, so it just opens up a lot of opportunity there. Couple things from the article. They said that the average household income in their other communities was $176,000, if I remember correctly in the figure.
Yep.
That's a pretty sizable amount of income.
Yeah.
And then another thing that they pointed out is that they've found when somebody's paying about $3,000 a month in rent, they are the quickest tenants to call to complain about a maintenance issue and point out things that are going wrong. So if you think these properties are just going to be, poorly maintained, if you're paying $3,000 a month for a house, you would nitpick it pretty hard. You would make sure that the owner of that home was providing a great service for you. Or you wouldn't get the value of $3,000 a month, and you would move on.
Yep.
The last thing there was that the city would like to see some kind of guarantee, like an ordinance for the upkeep, and they had committed to come back to the city with an update on that.
Good. I want to add one more thing in there as well. Like, if you think about this, going back to the people who just say renting bad. Sometimes people have situations in their life where they have great income, but for whatever reason, something might have happened in their situation that they can't buy.
Yeah.
Right? That happens a lot.
Yeah.
Right? What if someone goes through a divorce and goes through bankruptcy, but they still make good money? They still have. What if somebody
gets their identity stolen?
Dude,
I know
all the time. All the time. I know people literally, like, some of the most fiscally responsible people I know. I have a close friend whose identity is used 30 times a day.
Wow.
He has zero credit. His only responsibility his only thing that he could do was change his social security number.
Wow.
Like, basically change his identity and start over. But this person is very, they're good with their money. So there's people like that that just have to go the option of renting. Or what? Are they going to live at a friend's house? There's just not a lot of great rental options in the area. That's why you're seeing investors buy houses and then have crazy rents, and then everyone's like, oh, these rent prices are crazy. It's because there's nowhere to rent. If you look in Valpo, the rents are pretty significantly lower because there's a lot of good places to rent. There's a lot more options to rent. Obviously, the university plays a factor in that.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more
demand.
Yeah, and exactly. And so there's no supply here, so the demand is crazy and the rents are crazy. This applies a great option for somebody who, yes, maybe you would want to buy, but maybe they either don't want to buy, or for whatever unforeseen circumstance put them out of it, maybe they just can't.
Yeah.
And so maybe it's not about you, right? Because it's still bringing great people to this community who are going to take care of the community that just want a nice place to rent.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Another thing to point out is if you are in the camp of like renting is across the board a bad option for a community or for anybody, have you tried to buy a house since 2008? Like, the mortgage lending standards have completely changed. There's so many checks and balances. Check out the Chad Cryle episode if you haven't. But, I mean, let's just play out this scenario. Somebody is maybe a salesperson, has great income, but they're on a commission-based compensation plan. They cannot qualify for a mortgage if they haven't been at that company for 2 years. Maybe they are, a fantastic earner and they'd be great at buying. What do you want them to do? Just like live with their parents and not have their own space? Or
it's a great option and a great community and a great product.
Yeah, it solves a lot of problems. It's a great solution. It may not be a solution for you or in your eyes, but it is for somebody, and it's a saving grace for somebody.
And it's, again, bringing other great people into the community.
That's right.
That want to be a part of it or already are a part of it. And they just need a place. I don't know. I think that there's got to be some empathy for that. And then from a macroeconomic standpoint for the community, look at the nicest places to live in this country. They have the best schools, best places to go, all that stuff I named off earlier, and they have great places that are also rental options. You go to a Fishers, you go to a Carmel, you go to a Naperville, you go to all these nice areas. By the way, if you don't want that, I understand it. Trust me, I get it. I am born and raised here. If you don't want it, I get it. But it's happening. I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah.
It's growing. You live in a great area. It's only going to continue to grow.
Yep.
Like, if you don't want to live in a growing area where more developments and more housing or people, you got to go to a more remote spot.
That's
but
right.
Again, that's what happens when you build a great community. People want to come there. So that's the part of the process. So you have to look at it from great communities have great places for rent. And this is a great place to rent. So that's my opinion of it. We beat a dead horse, but I would here's my thing. I am open to reasonable conversations as to why this is a bad idea.
Absolutely.
Not just there goes the community.
I need more than one sentence.
I need a reasonable conversation. Yeah. Not rentals are bad. Like, we need more than that. We need more than that. I understand the perspective, but I'm open to a reasonable debate. I'm totally open to listening and being empathetic to whatever your response is as well.
Absolutely.
Would love that conversation.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the last topic. Near and dear, good old Mayor Uran, who we had on the show. I think we got his last
I believe
interview.
so. I don't know if we can.
I would say we got the last interview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
which
awesome.
is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool blessing for us for sure. But Mayor Uran, long time mayor of the city of Crown Point, has taken the CEO and president position of a tourism agency here in Lake County. Congratulations, Mayor Uran.
Yeah, congrats.
Huge.
We wish the best for the guy.
Absolutely
He's
awesome.
a great dude.
Literally on the show, he's like, if I'm ever leaving the city, he goes, it's not going to be for a different position within any sort of political realm.
Yeah.
And he was one of 146 applicants for the CEO job. Now, this makes a lot of sense because when we got to interview him, and he talked about competition, and he talked about his viewpoints. Remember, same thing when he went to the police academy. He was number one out of however many hundred people.
Yeah.
So this makes a lot of sense. We could go on and on and on about what Mayor Uran's done for the city, and some people may not like it. I think most people do. Personally, I love it. I'm very thankful for everything that he's done for our community, and thankful for our business here on the square, thankful for everything that we've had the opportunity, and I think a lot of it in the growth here and the positive growth and the schools getting better and everything that is just getting better. As a person born and raised here with a Crown Point address my whole life, I love it. And I'm very thankful, Mayor Uran. Thank you for everything you've done. We could spend forever here, talking about the accomplishments that him and his administration have had. But he'll take the helm at SSCVA, which is a tourism agency responsible for bringing tourists to the area in Northwest Indiana, which he's done a great job with Crown Point with sports.
It's right up his alley.
So he's got a background in all of this. He's going to do a phenomenal job of it. Personally, slightly concerned, wondering who's going to come next.
Are you going to announce
Ron
here?
Slightly concerned who's going to come next. Obviously very excited and happy for him, but wonder what's going to come for the future of the city, who's going to be next there. So,
I think it's awesome that, good for Mayor Uran and his family. Like you said, just echoing, thank you for everything you've done for the community. And I wish you the best. I know he's going to do a great job, and he's still serving the community in just a different capacity. He's just bringing tourism and helping the economy that way, which is, like you said, right up his alley. He's got a track record of it, so it's going to be good things. I'm sure that whoever follows, it's big shoes to fill, but they'll do good. I'm sure that'll happen.
Yeah, he set it up. So. He set it up for the next person to succeed, in my opinion.
Yeah, got a freight train of momentum behind him, so
right.
It's going to be fun.
Right. Yeah, there was a different article that we had here as well that was done by the Times that talked about Crown Point's population grew 7% last year. Like all of these numbers of investment coming from business, like hundreds of millions of dollars coming from businesses and it's. If you look at what's happening in this town as well as a couple other in Northwest Indiana, they exceed the national averages of population growth and value growth and money coming in and investment from businesses and all that. And Crown Point's definitely up there with, I would guess, within all of Indiana.
Yeah.
You know, again, that's without looking into further like numbers on that, but I would say it's up there within the top in Indiana. So, Mayor Uran, thanks for everything you've done. Thanks to your administration. Again, sad this is happening. I can't believe we literally got to sit down with him for an hour, and then like 4 days later it was like, oh,
it was wild.
Yeah, it was wild, but very grateful for that. So anything else you want from today's show?
No, just thanks again for all the support. Mm-hmm. Like 10 episodes in, this is a lot more traction than I thought we were gonna have. I really appreciate it.
I would do it if we had 2 people listening.
Yeah,
not,
just our moms listened.
Yeah, or just Noah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you guys for hopping on. Appreciate it. And talk to you soon.